Hey Kingdom, want to completely dominate Dragon Age Veilguard and watch this video for insanely broken Veil Ranger build. It's basically Archer build and I'm using it on my main playthrough right now. It's insanely fun to play and doing crazy amounts of damage. You already saw some snippets in the beginning, but basically I will show you the build right now, what you need to have from your items, inventory, companions, basically everything you need. And you don't even need to have max level or insane level. You can build this build almost from the start of the game and just upgrade it from time to time when you get more gear and stuff. And let's talk about this tree first. How we level up, especially in early game. In early game it's very simple and basically we're focusing on our bow damage, on our arrow generation, because you will be low on arrows in the early game. But here's the main idea what you want to do in early game. You want to just run around, escape your enemies and shoot with your bow. Don't shoot like that, so you don't want to use it as quick bow. You want to actually hold down the key, charge attack, and learn how to unleash attack at exactly precise moment when it's blinking or whatever effect it is. So that's basically your idea, learn how to unleash damage like that. Don't worry too much about gear, just pick whatever you like, whatever you need, because the full build will start from level 20 or so, since our Veil Ranger Specialization is soft locked behind level 20, and full build will be at level 30 when you unlock this Archer rhythm, but again it's only 3 skills over here. That gives you some more charged bow damage, gives you more damage when you release it perfectly, so you get like some time to learn how to use it before level 30. And also when your momentum is above 66%, momentum is our mana, you will deal additional damage, electric damage. So that's basically like everything you need from level 30, and whole build will start to work insanely good after level 20. And actually I will jump forward for now. At level 20 you will unlock your ultimate ability, which is pretty nice, basically multi-target ability that deal loads of electricity damage. Also you will unlock Storm Pulse ability and its area projectile electricity damage stuff. You will have plus 10 electricity damage, you know, it's just completely free 1 skill point to increase damage by 10% of this insanely powerful damaging ability already. And we get in this shocked duration plus 20%, and also hitting enemy with area ability also applied shocked. So this area projectile is basically will apply shocked, but most importantly you will apply shocked with Rain of Decay, which is necrotic damage. But most importantly, shocked will inflict more stagger on enemies. Enemies will be stunned in this zone, and you will see how broken it is just in a second. So I explained this like 5 notes or 6 notes over here, 7 actually, because you know you will just remember it and you will get it straight and right after you hit level 20. So you hit level 20, just get this ultimate skill 1, 2, 3 notes, and that's the build. So we're getting exploding arrow first, since it's really useful in the early game, but later you can swap it for evasive maneuvers. You can double tap evade button and then launch powerful attack with your bow, so it's pretty useful too, and you can completely like forget about this exploding arrow. I'm not using it too much anyway. So just think about your play style. Then we get in less momentum depletion when we're taking damage, and also Rain of Decay, our main ability. And then when you're leveling early on, you want to go down, get damage versus barrier, you want to take 15% less damage from enemies who are shocked. And if you remember, at level 20 we will learn how to shock enemies with our awesome Rain of Decay, so enemies will deal a lot less damage to us. And you will see on the clip right now when I'm fighting versus Dragon, he hits me and I'm taking almost 0 damage, guys. That's how broken the full build is. You also will be tanky. Then we get in plus 2 arrows, and also we unlocking this light armor mastery. So with this build you want to focus on having 2 light armor pieces, light helmet and light armor. This will instantly give you plus 50 momentum, its mana, more weak point damage and more charged bow damage. And you're seeing right now the main stats for this build. So for this build we will focus only on weak point damage, charged bow damage, and having some ability damage for our bow attacks. Weakest point of the bows will be armored enemies, and that's why we're having damage versus armor plus 20% here, and then we're going down, getting basically everything around here as you see. So we're getting necrotic damage when we defeat enemies by hitting their weak point, and weak points is basically headshots. Since at this point of the game you want to use your weapons from time to time, but later we'll use only bow. And then basically get everything over here, get your charged bow damage plus 10, get your weak point damage plus 10, and also increase scope of area abilities, and also hitting 3 or more targets with area ability grants enhanced damage, so you'll do more damage basically. It's overall damage increasement. Unlocking the skill, Lightning Quiver, we're not using it a lot with this build, but you can use it in early game. And you don't need resistances early on, so just skip it, get more arrows after defeating enemy, and from this note you will never ever will think about arrows, probably. And Hunter's Focus is really nice stuff, so this will give you ability to slow down time when holding R2. And that's something around level 20 or so. But with some wolf statues, you will be able to spend points over here too. And what we want here? Here we want Bated Breath. Now you can charge up bow for additional time. Basically, you can charge it up for 3 times, and third time will be insane damage. You saw I hit Dragon for 10k damage. That's crazy. And basically, after hitting this level 20 and your first specialization feats, you want to go over here and get Reeling Bolt. So to get here, you can just go downwards, gaining more momentum, and also upgrading ability of your area abilities to do more damage versus health, getting more momentum from arrow hits, and more momentum when hitting weak points, and you want to stay at high momentum as much as possible without spending your mana. I will show you how to do it. Arrow regeneration plus 20%, and you finally getting this Reeling Bolt. The coolest part, it got cooldown but no cost, so it's completely free spell that you can use a lot of time. It will weaken your enemies, it will also shock them, and also will apply protection from shocked enemies. Then we're getting more electric damage, enhanced damage after defeating the enemy by hitting their weak points, and our bread and butter, upgrading area abilities. Hitting multiple enemies with a single area ability deals more damage for each enemy hit. Also, we're getting more weak point damage, and let me just show you the full notes, like over here. We're taking everything you see right now, and also going to the top left. Charged bow attacks will do critical damage versus enemies at low health, and more penetration. So penetration is a nice stat just to push through enemy guards. When we finished here, we basically like going top and getting more damage against enemies who are close to you, within 10 meters. Damage versus armor plus 20%. Defeating enemy will grant necrotic damage, but that's not important. Important, we're getting more stagger with our attacks. 10 bow damage, and also new skill. So why do we have this new skill? Because every skill we take will give us ability damage plus 15%. And basically from this point of the game, you want to take as much abilities as possible. From this note, I like to go top and pick my penetration plus 15%, dealing 4% more damage per maximum arrow count, and at the same time maximum arrows plus 2. So if we have like 16 arrows in our arsenal, we will deal 60% more damage. That's crazy. Note, especially in the later game, getting one more ability just to unlock this ability damage, and I will pick on the next level some like momentum generation nodes, some protective nodes, and honestly I will just focus on picking more abilities. There is no nodes that we actually need right now. Build is already finished long ago, and I will just need to have more abilities for more ability damage. Still, ability damage is not our most important priority. Let me show you how this like crazy dude looks in the fight. I showed you some clips already, but that's basically the main idea. So we got no momentum right now, and we start fight like this. We're starting fight with slowing down time. Now we can do completely free skill, and he will be shocked, he will be stunned. I don't even need to shoot. I can like charge up my 3 attacks and then hit him. So that's the idea. Now I can slow down time myself and basically one-shot another guy. As you can see, whenever I kill someone, there's a skull from him, and the skull will attack other guys. Oh my goodness, this happens too. But who cares? In case I will lose some health, let me lose some health actually. Go hit me, bro. There's another companion who will save us a lot of health, and this is Darwin. So he will taunt enemies and heal us at the same time, while we can completely really aim and shoot. And hitting enemy weak spot with your critical strike like this will one-shot most of enemies easily. That's how powerful this build is. If you play it correctly, you will never lose your mana and you will always defeat enemies like without any problem. And that's the coolest part about our rain of arrows or whatever the skill is. So basically, with slow time, I will cast it. It will shoot 2 enemies, it will deal crazy amount of damage, but look, they can't do anything to us right now, and we're gaining our mana. So I can recast it one more time again, and they are stunned again. That's how it works. They are stunned, they getting staggered more and more. We don't even need to shoot. We can do it one more time, and basically when there's a lot of enemies, you will never lose mana, and you can just perma-stun a whole enemy parties like that. It's crazy how powerful it is. To make all of this work and get right gear, I mean to make everything work you need right gear, of course. So that's the right gear. Let's look at my character. First of all, let's talk about our bow options, because it's really important. And how to find gear in this game. Actually, you just need to explore a lot, but quickest path to any gear will be probably just looking for your items at respective factions. For example, Glory Hunter's Bow. And as you can see, it's Octopus faction. If I recall correctly, it's Fortune Hunters, Lords of Fortune, yeah. And the idea behind this basically just to go into Hall of Valor and go to Lords of Fortune location and complete their quests. Look for every chest you will find in this area, and you will find most of the items of their faction. Same works for traders, so for example my armor will be Jumper Deft Leathers, and it's Veil Jumper armor. So to find this armor, basically it will be first armor you will find in the game, because in the chests there's predetermined armor, but to upgrade it you need to find copies of it. So you need to find it more and more and more times, and stuff that worked for me at least, because it's not fully random as far as I understand how game works. Basically, watch for traders. And after getting into Veil Jumper camp, you need to go to the trader and upgrade your trader. To upgrade trader, you just need to complete quests, and then you can rank up when you got enough power of faction and enough materials. So you just rank up the shop, it will have new items, and you can buy items. And it will upgrade some items. So for example, this is not... No, it's actually cubed. And yeah, I got Golden Grass Blade right now on me, as you can see, and that's basically how you get in more powerful items. More powerful rarity of items. And rarity will give you more bonuses. For example, right now I got a Rare Saber, and it gives me plus 30 defense and reducing incoming damage by 5% of every missing arrow, up to 25%. And weapon attacks gain plus 10% of my defense as bonus damage is locked before I buy it. So now I buy it for gold, and now I get more powerful character instantly. If you wish your weapons and armors to have bonus like this, for example, from plus 0 to plus 8, you need to upgrade another shop. And to upgrade another shop, you need to buy these mementos and find these mementos on the field. You will find a lot of them. And this will upgrade your shop at the lighthouse. If you don't have the shop right now, you just need to advance through the game a little bit. Don't worry, don't rush, but at around level 20 you will definitely find it. So I'm here at the shop because we will enchant gear at the same time. But here is the gear, starting with this bow. Glory Hunter's Bow. Some of the parts I found at Veil Jumper quests, and some I don't remember. Just that's the bow I'm using right now. And you want to change enchantment on this bow that you're using into charged bow attack damage. As I told you, charged bow attack damage, one of the main stats for us. But since I never losing health most of the time, I just got plus 15% damage at high health. That's late game enchantment. But charged bow attack damage you will gain almost from the start of the game. These bows give me 20% charge attack damage at first, then 20% damage versus enemies that is away at the distance, and also weak point hits when enemy is away deal 50% of our critical damage is additional weak point damage, and when you fully upgrade this bow, your ranged companions will deal 100% more weapon damage. We don't care about it too much, so it doesn't need to be legendary. Actually, you want to have at least a rare bow like this, or even uncommon, so just 2 bonuses is enough to be insanely powerful. But if you can't find it, if you're unlucky or get better rarity bows, there is another option which will work. Reinforced long bow. You see the faction right now, so that's how you can find it. Just look for this bow at this faction quests, chests, and other stuff, as I told you. And this bow gives weak point damage, which is really important for us. We will be aiming for headshots most of the time, and it's really easy since we're aiming at slowed time most of the time. 30% charged attack damage. It's insane bonus, very powerful stuff. And also weak point hits ignore defense. That's a big stuff since at later stages of the game enemies got more defense most of the time, and when you ignore defense, I mean you just destroy enemies easily. But when I upgrade this bow to legendary, I will switch probably, since we will get each weak point hit will increase weak point damage by 25% up to 200%, and will reset when combat ends, so it will stay for full combat. I guess it's insanely big when you're fighting versus bosses. It's really good when you're fighting hordes of enemies. So that's a big, like, insane bow, and that's the bow I'm looking for right now actually to get it to legendary tier. There's a bunch of cool unique bows. I haven't found them right now, but just that's the stats you're looking for. You can test and try stuff. When I advanced, I actually enjoyed this True Flight bow. It's a really powerful bow that gives a lot of stagger damage, but coolest part, it changes bonus damage from barrier to armor. So a lot of enemies is actually armored, and bow just is not very powerful versus armor. You know, bow defeats barrier enemies, mages really quickly, but armored guys is really like protective against us. This bow changed everything completely, and normal enemies was just a breeze. And last but not least is Dauntless Great Bow. It's wheel jumper bow, and you will deal more electricity damage on hit. Electric damage will be more powerful with this bow, and you will deal more electric damage for each remaining arrow. Since with my build you will never lose arrows most of the time, because you will regain arrows every time you kill enemies, and you will kill enemies by just shooting your abilities, not arrows. So that's a great bow too, and also weak point hits to enemies with 3 or more shocked stats will cause lightning to chain to nearby enemies. That's a great stuff too, because we easily can hit 3 stacks of shocked, but come on, enemies are already dead most of the time. So that's the bow. Belt, just pick whatever belt you like. I'm running basic Tinkachu Kit healing belt that gives more healing received, 1 revival charge, and it's upgraded to legendary already. I'm running with minus 30% duration of companion healing. I like this belt because basically 1 potion will always heal me for full health most of the time. My armor is really important too, so it's jumper deft leathers, as I told you, and that's basically the first armor in the game that you will find probably, but it's a little bit hard to upgrade. I upgraded it only right now, and I'm waiting for next tier for 25% more charged bow damage. So this build is not even finished, and I'm already doing 10k damage hit really easily. This armor, first of all, it's light armor, it gives 80% ability damage, nice defense, and also more arrow regeneration, which is really good for whole game because you will run out of arrows in the early game a lot, and more weak point damage right now. I'm waiting for charged bow damage, and also I'm waiting for fully charged bow shots. I highly likely to disrupt all nearby enemies. It's pretty fun stuff too. And about enchantment, it got plus 30 defense. So flat defense, that's great enchantment. Because on my helmet, which is light helmet, I get more ability damage and defense, and also when enemy dies, it spawns an apparition that attacks nearby enemies dealing necrotic damage, and I get plus 10% defense. In my skills I get a lot of nodes that give me more defense per arrow, per other stuff, and basically by combining all of this together we got a character who's not dying against enemies, who really can stand a hit. Another options for this helmet will be Forest Guardian Veil, that gives you more weak point damage and more damage versus barrier, or Karaste's Double Head, so it gives momentum generation, stagger on ability use, And that's nice substitutions before you get this Iron Veil. I really recommend getting Iron Veil. It gives a lot of damage when you're starting to finish off enemies with your rain of arrows, and it's actually pretty easy to get. So, to get it, you need to advance through the game and get yourself into Arlatan Forest. So, here in Arlatan Forest, you want to go to the top right location. It won't be available instantly, so you need to advance a little bit through the game anyway. But that's basically the area where you will find it. So, let me quickly destroy this mini-boss or whoever he is. So he is shocked and dead, basically. So that's the exact location on the map where this helmet is. And it will be behind this wheel, basically. So to unlock this area, you need to complete puzzle. It's pretty fun puzzle. But you'll gain access to this awesome helmet. Then weapons. Weapons is not very important. Just pick the best weapon you have in case you need to fight versus enemies. But this one is really nice one because it giving you bonuses that is applied even when you're not using weapons, like 30 defense, reduce damage based on your arrows, and weapon attacks gain 10% of your defense as bonus damage, so it's pretty nice stuff too. But what I want to have is gaining 20 defense per active advantage. It's insane stuff for us, because advantage is basically buffs on yourself, and we will have a lot of buffs if you will find this Aranane Talon. I found it in location of this faction, basically. It's a secret chest, pretty late game-ish. But why I like this sword, again, it gives me necrotic damage. Since my main ability is necrotic damage, it's really useful for us. And also we're gaining necrotic damage permanently when entering combat, which is advantage. Having advantage when I upgrade this sword to legendary will give me more defense, and that's pretty nice, like, combination of swords to have protection while we defeating enemies with our awesome bow. And now my ring and amulet combination, it's pretty easy and straightforward. We got Sightless Skull, Morn Watch Amulet, we're getting more control ability damage, more stagger from control abilities, and more momentum per 50 stagger dealt by control abilities. So basically we're increasing power of our awesome Rain of Decay control ability. At the same time we got enchantment with weak point damage. So it gives power to our weak point damage with our bow. And since our main ability is area and control, we got enchantments of area ability damage and control ability damage on our rings. And rings, we got Graven Opal for more range attack damage and more weak point damage. And I'm really waiting until I get it to legendary tier. On weak point hit we gain 10 momentum, so we can hit more momentum more faster. And second ring is actually flexible. I'm running right now Presage Decay. It's necrotic damage, necrotic resistance, and necrotic ability damage versus health, which is really great. So it gives me more damage against basically all enemies when I break the guard with my necrotic ability. And when it will be upgraded, I will have more damage bonuses to my necrotic damage. So it's pretty like nice stuff to have. But I played a little bit with this unique ring. With this ring of physical damage, physical resistance, so it's like kind of just basic damage ring. But that's basically the best combination I found right now for my build. So, about runes, runes is pretty simple. We got 10 ranged attack damage, of course, we got 10% penetration, and +1 potion, since I don't have any like better runes right now. And that's abilities we use, Rain of Decay, of course. Storm Plus is area projectile ability, nice powerful stuff if enemy standing in a line. And also Reading Bolt is used only to apply beacon to the target, while ultimate used against bosses most of the time. So to make everything work, we need to understand what companions we use. And the first companion is our Wheel Jumper companion. Yeah, we have Wheel Jumper too, so it's nice bonuses for us. Basically, this companion is really useful because we get this time slow ability, and that's why she is so broken. So, time slow, that's how we level up. We get in time slow. While this effect is active, you deal 20%, 25% more damage. So we instantly start to deal more damage while this is active. When effect ends, you gain 50% momentum, so that's pretty nice if we want to cast spells right after this effect ends, even if we don't have any momentum. And we don't need these notes over here, they're useless. We get in Hasten. While time slow is active, your next ability use does not have momentum cost, and that's the like biggest and greatest like part over here. No momentum costs means we basically cast this spell for free. When we exit this like effect, we cast it for free again. And less cooldown for time slow is really useful stuff too. And ability slowing effect is intensified. Now I got more points, and actually I don't even need to level anything. I probably will level up the healing ability, and that's it. And what we use in time slow, we use in heal, just in case we need a little bit of heal from her. And also we use an enfeebling shot. It will apply weakened. Most of the time we will use weakened spell ourselves, but our next companion is Davrin will be able to detonate weakened with his dash from above. But first of all, bow. Bow is really important for us. Concentration plus 7, it doesn't matter how much plus it have, but concentration is a great bow. You can buy it from Wheel Jumper Camp. And attack my target applies vulnerability to electric damage. And electric vulnerability is now 25% more effective when you upgrade this bow to next tier. Basically, this bow will increase your electric damage output, and we get a bunch of electric damage amplifiers. You can see it over here, so that's basically our attack breakdown. The armor for this lady is utility dress, and entire party will gain 25% weakened duration. That's a great armor. We got more time to prepare to detonate our weakened target. For Rink, we got this 24% increased healing. Belara's ability cooldown are reduced, and your other companion cooldowns are reduced by 10 seconds whenever Belara abilities defeat an enemy. It is never used, so we can use it as basic Rink. We don't need a rare keepsake. And the second trinket is just revival charges, so we get +1 revival charge. In case we defeated in a battle, we can revive ourselves. And the Davrin. So this boy will be used mostly for battle cry in the fights, and battle cry means he will taunt enemies. They will go and attack him, they will gather up in a group, and we will defeat them really easily with our area ability. For sword, it doesn't matter too much. You can pick like whatever sword you like. I got Griffin's Talon, it's just most powerful sword I found right now, but basically we don't care about sword, at least swords that I found. For shield, I'm waiting for some cool shield at this faction when I upgrade it, but this shield that gives more stagger is really great one. Actually looking for something with stagger on him, stagger and taunt. And that's why sharpened hook knife is great trinket. It gives you more damage versus taunted enemies and also more taunt duration, which is great. I don't know will he have more damage versus taunted enemies or you, but taunt duration is great stuff. And also this is great armor, it's heavy armor. Enemies remain weakened when detonated, but cannot be detonated again. So that's completely fair, and you know, when you detonate, weakened is off most of the time, but with this armor it will be on, so you will take less damage from them. Next skill he will have is in War Victory. It's basically invulnerability for a short period, but we never use it anyway. And that's how we level him up. We're leveling Battle Cry, our most important ability. And Battle Cry will replenish your health when Taunt is active, so it's nice healing ability at the same time. When you are at a low health, this Battle Cry will activate itself, so it's pretty useful stuff in case of danger. Battle Cry effective radius plus 100%, duration plus 50%. For each taunted enemy, Darwin will gain more damage. And also when enemies are taunted, they take fire damage per second, so it's pretty nice like amplifier. And this like main idea of the build of the combination. We basically slow down time, we taunt enemies, and they will start to take shock damage, poison, necrotic damage, and fire damage at the same time. You will be healed at the same time, and you will inflict loads of damage with your bow. And here is the main combinations. Basically, you want to start a fight most of the time by just slowing down time. So after slowing down time, you will just shoot. Try to shoot and deal as much damage as possible, because you will deal more damage when your momentum is above 66%, and our momentum is almost never depleting basic. By the way, when you're finishing this build, definitely get this stuff at level 40, Sniper's Triumph, for more damage, and you can have double shock and also dash blow, but that's like not really relevant, because when they slow down, you want to unleash your skill. I'm not doing it right now, not to kill them, and then you taunt them. So after they taunted, you can unleash the skill again basically, I mean the first time, and that's basically how it works. I'm never attacking them and they're already almost dead by this combination. Imagine if I did like these 2 arrows at them and you already see what's happening. But of course we will use our weak point damage most of the time. We try to be a sniper for crazy damage, and that's basically how to deal crazy stuff with our awesome ranger. We will stay from the range and deal damage. But here is another stuff and another way how to start the combat. Basically you want to slow down time, and after slow down time of course you will use your abilities. I'm not using them right now, again, just not to kill everyone. And then when you exit slow down time, you shoot your this how it called reeling bolt. It uses no mana at all. It will shock down enemy, and this can trigger detonation. So he is detonated, he is basically defeated, and he's shooting his bro again. In case you need some damage, you can shoot this projectile again, but it's like more for fun when you need to push enemies away. Most of the time you want to try to stay above your mana level, because it will deal extra damage. As you can see, I got 2 numbers right now. So seeing 2 numbers means you're hitting this extra lightning damage on top. And ultimate will be used most of the time only on bosses, so I never use it in basic fights since it's really easy anyway. But still, you can use ultimate on boss, you can use another ability and completely destroy bosses like it's not a problem at all. This is really enjoying and fun moments when you one-shot enemies in the head like a real sniper. And I hope you really enjoyed this video and this build, and you will have blast playing it in your Dragon Age Veilguard playthrough. Make sure to watch other cool videos on the screen right now, and see you in the next videos.